Hello, everyone. As Mrs. Ward said, I'm Will. I'm a sophomore this year, and I am the admissions prefect. So part of the continuum that's already been explained a little bit, this panel is going to go through some of the aspirations Pacifica has for us. And the first one is a thinker. A thinker is one who seeks to find the truth at all times and in all spaces. It's a little story. 8th grade, a student, not me, I'm always prepared, so this wasn't me, but there was a presentation for a history assignment, and this student did not do the presentation. So 5 minutes before class started, threw it together at recess, goes up, does the presentation, teacher says, "Will, great job," and he sits down and realizes, he's just beaming, just radiant with pride, and realizes, I have no idea what I just talked about. Like, I could not tell you one name I just recited. And so I just had to relearn everything for the test that I had next week. And that's what Pacifica does really well, is it teaches students how to find the truth and learn everything well the first time. One of the ways we do this is through discussions like Logan talked about, but another way is when we read a book or a passage, we read the original source. We don't read a summary of it. Obviously, we translate it into English if it wasn't originally written in English, but other than that, it's the real author's words. And sometimes this can make it a little tougher. Last year, as freshmen, you read the Odyssey, and there are times when it's tough, you know, it's late after a practice, and sometimes you really wish, like, oh, just Google a summary of this chapter. But what you learn from reading the real author's words is the meaning he had, or he or she had, behind the text. Sometimes, like the Odyssey, it's just a great story, heroic, all that. But there's lessons that you learn from reading the author's real words that you wouldn't learn from a summary. And so becoming a Pacifica thinker takes a long time. It takes all 4 years, and it's something you have to keep working on after. It takes diligence. But by learning to find the truth, you are much more prepared to be in the world and see people's words and actions as they really are, and not take opinion as truth. And one of the teachers that models this really well is Reverend Butler. He's a literature teacher, and he is going to do the next aspiration.
Hi, I'm Hayden Butler. I'm one of the English teachers here at Pacifica. So at Pacifica, we're in the business of putting people back together. We want to put together the head, the heart, and the hands. It means we want to train you how to think. We want to train your affections so that you love what is good. We also want you to do things that are good and beautiful and true out of that wholeness. And so we want you to be integrated disciples, which we define as a person who pursues wholeness in personal and communal life through virtue that's grounded in Christ. We believe that the human person can become whole. We believe that when a person shows up with their whole self, wonderful things can happen, powerful things happen. So at Pacifica, we're going to try and model to you, not just instruct you in this, but we're going to try and really show you how to do this. We're going to put you in the company of people who really show up in their own lives and who show up in the lives of others around them in a good way to build good things. So here at Pacifica, we're going to try to persuade you to pursue goodness and integrity with your whole heart and your whole mind. We're going to try and show you how to do this, and so that you're capable, and yet you know you're capable of real thought, not just the parroted opinions of others. We want you to know that you're capable of profound devotion, not just a kind of shallow emoting. And we want you to know that you're capable of real friendship, not just kind of convenient or virtual relationships. And lastly, we want you to know that you're capable of fighting for something good and showing up to that fight. We want you, by being in the company of whole people, to stop ghosting your own life. We want you to show up in your life. We want to show up in your life so that you learn how to show up in your own life and then learn to show up in the lives of others around you. You learn this by following others who have done this before you. And if you want to learn how to do this, you can do this by following Will. You can do this by following Dan, or you can do this by following our next speaker, Miss Katie Kane.
Hi everyone, I am Katie. I am a senior this year at Pacifica. I am a prefect like Will and Logan, and I'm also a yearbook editor. I'm going to talk a little bit about being an ethical decision maker, which we define here at Pacifica as being someone whose thoughts and actions are rooted in what is good. As you've heard a little bit today, we really pursue goodness here. We learn about it. We have philosophy classes and ethics classes, and we're able to, really understand and have a grounds and a basis of understanding goodness and virtue. This year specifically, we take a faith and culture class with Reverend Stratton back there. It's one of my favorite classes that I've ever taken at Pacifica. It's a class where we really get to develop and discover our own beliefs. And it's in an effort to kind of prepare us for college and for life in adulthood overall. We recently had a unit on telos, on purpose, discovering or coming up with an idea of what the goal of human life is, if we believe that there is one. I personally do believe that there is one, and Reverend Stratton asked us a question. He said, if you do believe that there is a goal to human life, how are you making choices to actively pursue that goal? Now, it may seem pretty obvious that if you believe that there's a purpose, you want to, work towards it, but I feel like I was a little bit naive beforehand, and I never really paired together the idea that my actions should follow my beliefs. I kind of had an idea of what I believed, but I didn't really know why, and I had these decisions that I was making, but I didn't really know what they were headed towards. This year, I've been able to kind of have a purpose to develop and discover my own purpose, to make sure that the decisions I'm making are pursuing virtue, and I have just been so grateful for that. I'm so lucky that the friends that I've made at Pacifica, have the same goals and the same idea of goodness that I do, and that they will hold me accountable and that I can hold them accountable. I find it something so special and unique about our school. I'm so grateful for the teachers here that push virtue on us, that help us kind of, discover our own ideas. And I'm happy to introduce someone who I believe pursues virtue alongside me, which is Dan.
Hi guys, my name is Dan DeMars, and I'm going to talk about what it means to be a contributor. A contributor is one who offers what they are and what they have to purposes beyond themselves. In response to this, I'm going to tell you my journey at Pacifica. In my freshman year, I'm not going to lie, I was a pretty shy guy. I did not know a lot of people going into this school, so I just did what I could to fit in. In this sense, some could say I was just normal. However, what I learned was that Pacifica wanted to stretch me outside of my comfort zone, and that was thanks to the contributions of those who came before me. I saw seniors wearing kilts, students painting their chests with the letters of Pacifica during basketball games, and athletes participating in the school plays and productions. The more and more I observed Pacifica, the more I saw people giving their all so they could make the community around them a better place. They gave the fullest of what they were, which inspired me to want to do the very same. This was only possible because of Pacifica, which I believe is the land of opportunity. I felt like anything I put my mind to, I could achieve. So I started off by creating the ski and snowboard club with my friend Samson. Then I ran for president. Although I did not win, the school still believed in me and made me an executive of a committee on AS. Finally, I did something I did not even think I would ever do, and I participated in this school's fall play, Twelfth Night by Shakespeare. With all these things, I tried my best to give back to such a great community that Pacifica created for me. As I look to create a sense of camaraderie with the ski and snowboard club, improve the school with my visions, and finally inspire others as being an athlete who took on the play. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up Mrs. Parsons.
Well done, everybody. Can we give a round of applause to my amazing team? Just love these guys. So fun to get to hear from you. Thanks for sharing your hearts with us. Thank you for your attention. And it's so fun to see your faces, half of them at least, your eyes and your eyebrows. You look fabulous. So I'm sure we've exchanged many an email. Sorry if I'm a frequent flyer in your inbox lately, but I'm super excited that you're here, and I would love to walk through just briefly while I have you the steps in the application process, and then show you or introduce you to a little bit of what we'll do here at the end if you're wanting to stay around with us. So for those of you who haven't started or have, just as a reminder, the application process has 4 steps. We have an online application, teacher recommendations, an entrance exam, and a family interview. It's not intended to be a lot of steps. It's doable, and you can do it, I promise. Your teachers love to brag about you, and I love getting to read what they have to say about all of you students. So if you have questions for me about the application process, you can shoot me an email. You can track me down after this. Also this year, we are going to do the financial assistance process a little bit differently. I'll back up by saying, since Pacifica's founding, it's been a part of our mission to be a school for families from all backgrounds and neighborhoods, and we mean that in all senses of the word. And so if that is something that is a consideration for you in applying to Pacifica, I invite you to apply for tuition assistance. The application will open January 1st, and will be due February 1st, and awards will be made by mid-February. If you have more questions about that, I'm here to answer those for you. But I hope that you enjoyed the program and presentation. I hope it was helpful and inspiring as you're sitting here as 8th graders thinking about what your next step will be in high school. As you heard from my team, we really want you to find a place that you will thrive. I happen to believe that this is a place that's excellent for the thriving of students. I hope you are convinced on that today. As you have more questions, the team will be out sort of where you found them when you arrived. So academic disciplines are under the tents, arts and athletics are sort of to the left of the gym here. I will be around. Please find any number of our team members and ask any questions you have. We're here, like Mr. O'Neill said in the beginning, because we're 4 students, and so that's why we're all gathered today. Thanks for joining us. Let me know what questions you have. I will be around, and I look forward to meeting you either for a campus tour or for your family interview. Thanks for your attention, and have a fabulous rest of your afternoon.